No, that's the other thing.
Oh
we're
yeah,
gonna
that's
do.
the other video.
Yeah, we're making that after.
Anyway, this is the Protagonist seat.
Yeah,
I'm Ian.
And I'm Alex, and we're going to talk about some anime that was really good this week.
Yeah, some real good seasonal anime.
I heard about some good anime.
Hit me with that good anime.
Well, we're going to start off with some okay anime with.
Hit me with that fine to mediocre anime.
That time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's okay.
It is okay.
It did better than the previous weeks.
It did.
Something happened.
The thing happened. Basically, Shizu, we learned that she is
Possessed by a spirit.
By Ifrit, a fire demon spirit
Which
thingy.
is the go-to fire thing in fucking everything.
Yeah.
Everything
is
You ever
Ifrit.
play a JRPG? Ifrit's in it.
Yeah. And then you get, Final Fantasy games with Shiva as the ice lady.
Yeah.
All of them. And then you got Ifrit. And then you got, I don't know.
I think it's Ifrit. I don't know. I played the Tales games, and that's how they pronounce it in that one.
I'm honestly not sure. I've never heard it pronounced.
You know what? It probably changes depending on dialect and location.
Yeah. But anyway, she goes essentially thermonuclear as she goes to leave with the other group of adventurers that I actually kind of like.
Yeah, they're okay.
And
I don't think much of them.
No,
but they're okay.
My opinion of them improved because basically she goes thermonuclear. Rimuru, the metal band, tells the goblins
a day to Rimuru.
a day to Rimuru. He tells the goblins, "Hey, evacuate everybody," and he turns to the other adventurers and he's like, "You guys should probably leave too, because you guys are nerds and you'll get shreked super hard." And basically they're like, "Nah, fam, we're adventurers. This is what we do.
This is what we train for."
And
they just kind of hold off the jobbers.
Yeah,
he beats them anyway.
They fight the ads and they give Rimuru a new power to shoot icicles.
Basically, it was a really long, stretched-out boss fight for the whole episode, and it turns out that he can easily just beat the boss, and the boss can't hurt him.
Yeah, because he has fire immunity.
Which, thinking back on it, makes me like this a lot less.
Yeah. I mean...
I'm fucking trying. I'm trying with this one. It's just, I don't think it's very good.
No.
I don't think that time I got reincarnated as a slime, surprisingly, with something like that, with that title, it's just not very good.
And that opening, too, I wanted to like this a lot more, and it did the opposite.
It's just, it's slow. It's showing that there might be cool stuff down the line, but I'm not invested for it, for when we finally get there.
Yeah, because I guarantee the next episode is probably going to be some boring shit like, hey, let's rebuild the village.
Or they're sitting around and then they just kind of talk more to Shizu about... I'm going to call it now what it's going to be. It's going to be Shizu, now that she's not controlled by the spirit anymore, explaining what her whole deal is.
Yeah.
Which, basically, she served the Demon King.
Yeah.
And she's going to be I didn't want to, but yeah, I served this Demon King. And then they're going to probably decide, hey, we should go stop this Demon King.
We should stop this Demon King.
That is going to be the entirety of the next episode.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't want to watch that.
I don't really want to watch it either.
Yeah.
Should we cut this one? Should we call it?
Let's wait till the end to call it, just in case.
All right.
Just in case we get surprised by, I don't know, let's say Double Decker really flops this week and we just want Double Decker gone.
I really don't see that. I love this episode.
Yeah. No, Double Decker is a solid contender for one of the shows of the season.
I did love this episode of Double Decker.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that episode.
Let's talk about the other fantasy show that we don't dislike.
Yeah, Goblin Slayer.
Which, to be honest, thought it was a good episode. Still not hype, because, that ending that they pull, he's fine. He's coming back.
There was like
It's episode 7. He's fine. He's the title character.
yeah, it was funny because I was watching it with my mom and she was like, "Oh no, Goblin Slayer can't be dead," and I was like, "Yeah, he can't be dead.
Yeah, it's episode 7.
He's the character. Like the show is called Goblin Slayer.
You can't kill off the title character.
Can't kill off Goblin Slayer." But like they hold on that shot of a canary's eye for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, which I was thinking.
Why?
Yeah, was that just easier?
Because literally nothing is happening. It's just like
sad music playing over that.
Sad music swells while I sit on my couch saying, "But he's not dead though."
Yeah.
He's not fine.
Yeah,
but he's not dead.
He's gonna need he's gonna need to do the protagonist sleep for a few days thing.
Yeah, which Rimuru in Slime does twice. But anyway, let's not talk about that show. That show is done this week.
The episode they go back into the sewers. Oh, and it starts out with Priestess taking a bath, and Sword Maiden shows up to also take a bath.
Yeah.
And she can see that Sword Maiden has a bunch of scars on her, which imply that Sword Maiden got goblined at some point.
She got goblined.
And then she says some cryptic stuff about Goblin Slayer not being there.
Yeah,
she
only spends like a minute and a half in the bath.
Yeah, can I take a bath with you? Boom, cryptic stuff. All right, see you later.
Yeah, I only came in here to deliver that cryptic stuff, but you enjoy your bath, but not for too long. You'll get dizzy.
And then after they go into the sewers, Goblin Slayer brings a canary because they can detect poison gas.
And it's kind of funny because Elf Ranger points at the canary and is like, "What's that?" And Goblin Slayer's response is, "You don't know what a bird is?" And she's like, "I know what a bird is." He's like, "Well, it's a canary." And she says, "I know it's a canary."
And then they take him into while they're walking towards, into the dungeon. She's like, "Is that going to be like the scroll where it's going to, kill everybody?"
Yeah.
He's like, "No, it's a canary."
It's a bird. It freaks out when it detects poison. That's its thing.
They basically find a room, and they go in there, and they see someone chained up. Turns out it was a skeleton, and it's a trap.
Yeah, it had some beautiful golden locks on top, and they just slide off, and they're like, shit.
The thing I did like is when the poison gas starts coming in, they instead tactically barricade the door and fill in the holes that the gas is coming in with cement by having the mage guy harden it or something with magic.
Basically, Goblin Slayer is like, "Hey, I was actually super prepared for poison this whole time. Everyone wrap these pieces of charcoal in cloth and wrap them around your faces. Also, here, I have this stuff to make concrete. We should fill it with concrete, but it won't dry for a while." And then Wizard Dwarf is like, "Hey, I can just do that with magic." And he uses up all of his spell slots doing that.
And then the goblins finally attack. They bust through the barricade, and Priestess puts up her protection wall.
Protection!
And then turns out the goblins were led by a goblin champion, which is a fucking orc.
Yeah, he's a
it's an orc.
Big goblin, and that's basically an orc.
Yeah, and so the goblin champion fucks Goblin Slayer up.
In one hit.
Yeah, knocks him through like a stone pillar, busts his back up, and he collapses on like a coffin or something.
Yeah.
And then Priestess freaks out, and because she loses concentration, her barrier goes down, and they all start getting swarmed by the goblins.
Yeah, shit goes bad from there.
Elf almost gets gobbed, and the big goblin champion picks up Priestess and bites a chunk of her arm off, it looks like her arm skin. And she screams, which triggers Goblin Slayer to go into metal mode where all the rock music starts playing, and he picks up the wig that was on the dummy that they used to lure them in, and he strangles the Goblin Champion with it and grabs and pulls one of his eyes out.
Yeah, it's cool.
But then after he collapses from his wounds, and then they have that canary shot where they just hold on it for...
Yeah, everyone's like, oh man, Goblin Slayer, you can't die now. And I'm, meanwhile, in the real world, like, yeah, but no, like, he's the main character. He really can't die now.
Mm-hmm. And that was the episode.
Yeah, I would say a cool episode with a lackluster ending.
Yep.
So... moving on.
Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, and it is Science Girl arc.
Yes, I was proven incorrect.
It is not going to be Umbrella Girl yet.
Nope. She is just kind of in the background visiting her cat.
Yep, so she will probably be the next one.
Yeah. Essentially, Science Girl, there's two of her running around, and they're like, what the fuck? So, since there's already one Science Girl living in Science Girl's house, they take other Science Girl, who I guess has been sleeping in an internet cafe.
Mm-hmm.
They take her, and she stays with Sakuta, and Mai also stays over, because Mai is like, I don't want you sleeping with this lady in your house all the time. And, you know, that I think that's pretty reasonable. I think it's kind of reasonable.
And, yep, she stays with them, too, and then the sister's kind of like, yo, big brother, you're developing a harem.
You're swimming in it, big bro. You're swimming in it. I want to be part of that. And Sakuta's like, no, this isn't that kind of anime, kinda.
And so, and then one night while he's sleeping, because he lets them sleep in his room, and he sleeps on the floor in the living room.
Like a true gentleman.
On the floor next to the couch.
Next to the couch.
Just sleep on the couch.
I mean, to be fair, that couch didn't look like a couch. It looked like a love seat. And I wouldn't, like, he looks...
You can make it work.
He could, but it looked a little short for him.
Yep, so he's sleeping on the floor, and then Mai comes out, and then he tries to give her a kiss, and they bump foreheads, because, you know, they're teenagers, and they're awkward.
Ugh, awkward teenagers trying to kiss.
And he ends up going to investigate what's going on with the one that's not living in his house, and she changed her hairstyle, and that one seems more obsessed with the guy she has a crush on.
Best friend man.
Yeah, best friend man, who usually does not ever in any anime get girls.
Yeah.
Best friend man is usually there to just cheer on the main character.
But now he has his own sub-girls because he also has bitchy girlfriend.
Yeah, and then bitchy girlfriend at the end of the episode goes up to the main character and is like, hey, you're friends with that girl, right? And he's like, yeah. She's like, look at this. And she shows pictures on her phone of, I guess, like her Instagram or something, and she's been taking... Science Girl's been taking risque photos of herself on there, which is, if this was an American show, she'd be posting nudes.
They would be nude AF. I also liked how they drew the comparison, because I noticed. I got a sharp eye for these small details.
Oh.
Her profile picture is a choco coronet, but when she's talking about the first time she fell in love with best friend man, he bought her a choco coronet because she was too afraid to go to the food truck outside school because it was so packed.
And that's why she likes him.
And now it's her profile picture for Risque Photos site.
And that's all we got so far.
Yeah. I'm interested. They have drawn me in.
Yep, we got a new arc with a girl who's not Best Girl, because Best Girl just had her arc.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kick My Ass Kohai she's around, but she's in the background now.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a bummer. And this is weird because this is an arc with a character who is actually not trying to join our main character's harem.
Yeah. Instead, he's helping her and his friend, I guess, technically?
I guess so. He's helping set them up.
Yeah, because obviously he doesn't like bitchy girlfriend.
Nah, no one does.
Yeah.
She's bitchy girlfriend.
That's her character.
Yes, it is literally her character.
All she does is show up to be bitchy.
Yeah, for like no reason. So.
But yeah, we'll have to see what happens next week.
I'm invested in this arc. They've done a good job drawing
I'm invested
me
in this arc because I'm invested in this show.
Yeah. I like how the show is sort of taken off. I like how they did an arc with a character that's like, hey, I've known this character since like episode 1, and now she gets her own arc. Whoa.
Wow, what's happening with that? So Zombieland Saga this week.
Real good. This, I gotta say, this episode was... I finished watching it, and immediately after my reaction was like, this is why I fucking watched this show.
This is why.
This is why.
Yeah, that was a good episode. Because the last one I thought was rather weak, but that was, of course, setting up for this one.
Yeah, it was a setup. And to be honest, it's a good job.
So, the start of the episode, they're all practicing, but Junko has completely isolated herself. That's another reason why this show's so good. I know all the characters' names, whereas all the other ones I have to mostly call them by their shtick, except for Goblin Slayer, where that's what they are.
Yeah, it is like Saki is best girl, and you know what? I know Saki's name. I don't have to call her like ruffian bike girl. I can call her Saki.
And Junko is sulking, and she's growing little mushrooms on her head because she's just sitting in one spot, so mold's growing on her because she's a zombie.
She is a zombie.
And they're all wondering what they should do, and they try bringing it up to Necroducer, and he basically tells them to figure it out himself.
Yeah.
But then Necroducer shows later in this episode he does care.
Because they can't figure it out themselves, and they do kind of... Sakura does a shitty job.
And he delivers a good line where Junko kind of makes a little barricade to separate her from everyone else, and he kicks down the barricade and goes, "Zombies are supposed to be on the other side of the barricade, dumbass!"
Yeah. Oh, I love this man so much. But basically, kicks down the door, gives her a pep talk, and is like, hey, you can be the kind of idol you want to be.
Yeah, because she mentions how for her era, because she was an idol 30 years ago, how things were different. They were almost made as sort of they didn't mingle with their fans like they do today.
They were held on a pedestal, so to speak.
And she said that she just couldn't meet with fans like how the others do, and he told her, then don't.
Yeah.
Be the kind of idol you want to be. If you want to be the Showa idol, be the Showa idol. That's your character.
Exactly. That will be your character. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's literally that simple. Yeah. Just don't do it.
That's your character.
Then you don't have to.
And then at the end, they're all about to leave, and Junko doesn't show up, and they're like, well, it's time. I guess we just got to go without her. And she shows up last second, stands in front of the truck.
She jumps over the fence.
Yeah.
She gets a running leap over this, like, huge gate.
Yeah, and she's standing in front of the van, and she's kind of giving her spiel how, like, I'm going to be the Showa idol, and he accidentally hits her with the van.
He just runs her over.
And they do a replay of when Sakura died in the first episode of her, like, flipping through the air.
It's so good. Oh, I love this scene so much, because you can even tell on Necroducer's face is like, shit, I couldn't stop.
I almost thought, like, is that like a shit, I did it again face? Like, was he the original truck driver?
Oh my god, and Sakura was actually an accident? Like, he was going to collect the other corpses, and he just fucking runs this girl over, so he's like, fuck it, she'll be part of my group too.
Or he worked as a truck driver, accidentally ran her over, felt really bad, and her parents were like, yeah, she just wanted to grow up and be an idol, so he's like, shit, I gotta make this girl's dream come true. I gotta dig up a bunch of other idols.
Let me just dig up the rest of the idols, and we'll revitalize Saga. But they collect her, and they bring her... They bring her to the show, and they get her done up in her makeup, and Necroducer sprays them all down with, like, industrial shoe protectant.
Yeah, shoe polish.
Yeah, to keep their makeup from coming off in the rain, and Saki shouts a lot.
And it turns out their concert is going to be during a lightning storm, which makes I very nervous because she died during a lightning storm.
She was fucking struck by lightning.
And while they're on stage and the lightning's going, she's nervous. She can't sing.
She freaks out.
Yeah, she starts panicking. But then Junko steps up, and they all kind of work together to get through the song. and then they all finish with a big spectacular finish and all get struck by lightning.
Yeah, this huge, just like pillar of lightning comes down from the sky, destroying the stage and electrifying all of them.
And instead of being burnt to a crisp, they're all glowing, and all their voices sound like they've been auto-tuned, and instead they go for another one, and
It's
so...
so fucking good.
Yep, so throughout the credits, they sing their other song just in auto-tune, and everyone in the audience is freaking out because everyone's like, this is, holy shit, this is amazing!
And they fucking shoot laser beams out of their fingers.
And their fans are back in this episode.
Yep, metal fans come back, as does Idol CG, so we have a running gag tally of 2 in this episode.
I felt like it was better this episode, but that was probably because they could work in the rain CG effect with it.
Yeah. It did look a lot better.
The worst it looked was the first time they did it, where broad daylight, awful.
Broad daylight on like a 2D plane, just like
gross.
Not good. But they do the performance super good, and they actually go through the whole thing, which is really nice. And then it ends, and I was very hyped and also very sad because that was the end.
Yeah, I like how Tay's getting more character too, where even though she can't speak, she's like, she copies Saki, where Saki's leaning and pouting. Tay does the same thing.
And she does try to speak in this episode because she tries to imitate some of the words that Saki says, and it's like, holy shit.
I found this interesting. You know who voices Tay?
Who?
I forget the actress's name. The voice actress of Sailor Moon.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Her. She voices Yamada Tay.
Huh. Now that is something interesting.
Yeah, they got like the biggest A-lister they could get, and they had her voice the character that just mumbles and just grunts.
Here, we'll give you this role, grunt and do a cock-a-doodle-doo sound.
We know you voiced one of the most famous characters in anime history. Just kind of go the whole time.
I bet that's gonna be like a big season finale reveal. Tay is gonna talk in the Sailor Moon-esque voice, and everyone's gonna be like, "Holy shit! Whoa! Oh my god!" And it's gonna be great.
But yeah, always good, always hood.
Zombieland Saga A+, good job.
And now, Miss Vampire Who Lives in My Neighborhood, which I didn't really. It had, I think, just I think it was just an A plot this episode, I think.
Yeah, this one was all about...
they want to make... Akari wants to make summer memories with them, but obviously summer is mostly a sunny, sunshine, doing stuff out on a hot day kind of season.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really work for vampires. The start of the episode, she basically kidnapped Sophie and dragged her to the beach... In a briefcase.
Yeah, in a big suitcase.
Yeah.
Just kidnaps her and takes her to the beach. And Sophie wakes up and she is naturally mortified. And I thought it was pretty funny because she was like, I woke up and I was surrounded by my enemies.
Yeah.
The bright sunlight, running water. It's my worst nightmare.
Yeah, she brought her to the absolute worst place you can bring a vampire.
Literally could not have picked a worse place. It's good stuff. I do like it.
Then after, obviously, she has her bring her back home because she really doesn't like it. Although she likes riding around in the briefcase.
She really likes the briefcase, does not like the beach. So you know what? 50-50 in terms of trip quality.
And so Akari's trying to think of things they could do together. She's like, beach is out. What about, she's like, what if we go to a cemetery at night? Because something called Dare. I don't know.
Yeah, what if we do dares?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's just Japanese kids going into a cemetery telling each other to do creepy things like, oh, touch that headstone in the back.
Yeah, it sounds like Japanese cultural kid stuff.
Yeah, and Sophie doesn't want to because she's like, it might be scary, though, if there are ghosts.
If there are ghosts, it'll be creepy, so
Says
we're
the
not
vampire.
doing that. That's one of my favorite things about Sophie. She is cowardly as hell, and I love it. It's great.
And then Akari finally figures out a thing they could do. Fireworks. It's at night, and yeah, it's basically low commitment.
Yeah.
And the whole rest of the episode is just she makes some yukatas for them to wear, and they all go together, and they just that's it.
And
They,
that's it.
They go to the festival.
They win some fish, or Sophie wins some fish at some point, and then Akari is like, man, if only we had an aquarium. And Sophie's like, whoa, you mean you don't bring them home and eat them?
Yeah, and then while the fireworks are happening, Ellie starts flying in front of them because,
Ellie likes to fuck things up.
Yeah, except it's not a problem in this universe. This is a slice of life comedy.
Well, I thought it was...
That's not going to be a big issue.
I thought it was weird because, like, everyone is kind of like, whoa, is that a person flying? And then they just kind of cut to later where they're like, man, you think we did a good enough job convincing those people? Don't explain what they told them. Don't explain what they did.
It's the double-decker philosophy. You don't need to know that.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. We'll just skip it and we'll say you did it.
But, yep, comfy show as always. Very nice.
Heartwarming. Almost as heartwarming as JoJo Part 5.
That was a sweet dance.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I've ever audibly just said, what the fuck? While watching someone, as when they just, like, it was one thing when one person started, and I was like, he's just doing a bit. And then person number 2 joins in, and I'm like, hold on now. And then Mista joins in, and I'm like...
No, Mista's the second one to join.
Oh, yeah, isn't it? It's Kid, then Mista, then Green Shirt Man.
Yeah, he's the last to join. Then they're all just in synchronous, just dancing.
And it's so weird, because they've got the
like
head...
this artsy cut to the head of just it, like... It's like a skull, almost distorted, moving up and down. With different colors.
Because basically Mista is...
Yeah, they're interrogating the gangster they beat in the last episode.
So he tortures him with fishing wire and some sunglasses.
He's basically just a head right now because Bucciarati used sticky fingers to separate his head from his body.
And keep him alive, which is pretty fucked up.
So they hang him by one of his eyelids by a fishing hook and put glasses on him and face him towards the sun, so it basically does a magnifying glass thing where it starts burning his eye to get him to talk.
It progressively gets like more weird artsy as the dance goes on, and he's just getting burned by the sun, and it's like, what the fuck is going on?
They basically use Moody Blues to figure out that he made a call to someone on the island that they're supposed to go to. So Giorno and Mista decide to go ahead and catch the guy before the boat gets there.
Yes, and we finally get to see Mista's stand...
Sex Pistols.
Yeah. Come out, and it's great.
Yep, they're little bullets, basically.
Yeah. And they have little personalities, and they definitely do not like being treated as pets. And they're kind of assholes. But, like...
Yeah.
Whatever.
And they are waiting for the guy. Giorno does a call to the dock to get them to have them go and call somebody.
Basically, they know someone's waiting at the dock, so they're like, if we page them, then the person that goes for the page is the bad guy.
And Mista's very clear, like, okay, I'm just going to shoot the person that comes and answers the page.
Yeah.
But turns out he went through a back door, and he was inside on the radio, and Mista wasn't going to be able to see him, so Giorno realizes Mista can't hear him, so he gets on the radio and shouts, "He's in the window!"
Yeah.
And then Mista shoots him, and the guy closes the window, but Mista's shots still go through, and turns out Sex Pistols are able to control the path of the bullets.
Yeah, basically they, like, hitch rides on the bullets.
And they kick them.
And they kick them.
And the guy gets shot in the ankle.
Yes, but he still manages to escape.
And he escapes to the car, and Mista chases him, and that's where the episode ends.
Yep. Which leads me to believe that we're in for another stand battle between Sex Pistols and whatever that other dude's stand is.
I believe this is all just going to be stand battles because it's JoJo.
I hope so, because the stand battles are real good, and I like them very much.
We didn't have any real battles this week, though, on Double Decker.
No, but I did love the shit out of this episode.
Yeah,
Mostly,
this was the Max episode.
Yes. We finally learn the story behind Max, a.k.a. Boxa. And we learn a little bit about Robot as well.
Mm-hmm. Not as much. We just know she lives with Max.
Yeah, it's more incidental stuff.
Yeah, and basically in the episode, there's someone going around attacking people who are potentially going to be prom queen at this high school.
Yeah.
And they're sent to the school because they believe something to do with Anthem might be involved with it.
Spoiler alert, it does.
Yeah, and Max doesn't like prom, and Kirill doesn't know why. And while they're there, they're doing some investigating, and originally they're posing as just regular cops that are there at the school to talk about drug safety.
Drugs are bad, okay?
And Kirill's the mascot, and he's kind of annoyed about having to go around with Robot in the mascot costume. But Doug goes, hey, that looks way easier.
Yeah.
Do you want to switch?
That looks so easy. Let's switch. So they do.
And Doug sleeps the whole episode in the costume.
Yeah, it's great.
Meanwhile, while everyone just starts trying to hit on Robot while she's like, I'm just trying to teach you guys about drugs.
I just want to teach you guys about drugs.
And basically, the whole episode is Max and Kirill investigating, and Kirill slowly learning a little bit more about Max's past, mostly from Robot.
Mostly from Robot. I would say almost exclusively from Robot.
Yeah, because Max isn't the type to talk about herself.
She's not a very forthcoming person.
I guess Max was supposed to go, when she was younger, go to prom, and she had this guy she liked, and she expected him to ask her to prom, which he did, but...
with a caveat.
Yeah, with a twist.
Basically, he wants to go as the woman, and he wants to ask her to go as the dude. Basically, this dude is transsexual or transvestite or something like that.
Yeah,
he is trans in some capacity.
And she was fine with that, which is why she cut her hair, and she has the hairstyle she does now. But of course, everyone at school made fun of him for that.
Because high schoolers are cretins.
And he ended up turning towards drugs and becoming a junkie, which made her want to become a police officer.
Yep, and he moves away, and she gets real bitter about that. So
that's why she hates high school and prom.
Yeah.
Because it destroyed her friend.
Basically, throughout the episode, there's these two girls, Elle and I can't think of the...
Yeah, they refer to themselves in the first person.
Yeah, it's real...
Or the third person.
It's real dumb and kind of confusing at points. But basically, best friend character to Elle is the villain. She is...
Yeah, she is the one attacking people because she wants to make her friend the prom queen and the ultimate, just...
Yeah. She wants her to win the prom queen, the Dansu queen thing.
And she then takes a bunch of Anthem and turns into a giant bee.
Yeah, she turns into Queen Bee.
Giant bee.
And she kidnaps Elle, and then Max chases her down.
Anthem is a strange drug.
Anthem is real weird, let me tell you, because she does not go into Anthem overdrive in this episode. She goes into Anthem overdose, which I don't know what the differences are.
Yeah, apparently. Does it everyone become a bee?
I don't know. I don't know if it's Animorphs.
Bees?
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 The bees!
Dr. Bees!
Nothing couldn't be solved with the help of more bees. Oh, I fucking love
a high school prom devoid of any bees? I know what will fix that.
Bees! Oh my god, they're stinging my eyes. Too many bees at this prom? Let me solve that with more bees.
This prom has been ruined by the addition of yet more bees.
Plagiarism. So, basically, Max chases her down and talks her down.
And she turns back to... I forget, does she shoot her or does she...
She does.
Okay.
Basically, she gets her to stop, and then after she stops, she gives her medicine.
And then you think it's all over, but she goes back to work, and Kirill runs in, he's like, Max, it's an emergency, we need you.
We got big problems. Come follow me immediately right now.
And then she follows him down the hall, and they surprise her where they threw a prom at work.
Yep, they threw a work prom. Kirill wanted to throw her a party with all of her favorite things so that she wouldn't hate prom anymore.
He made a motorcycle cake, or at least ordered one.
Yeah, and their little motorcycle helmet balloons. And it works.
Yep.
Surprisingly enough, it actually works.
And that's the episode.
Yep. I really like this one because I really like the fact that even though the subtitles said prom, I could clearly hear the voice actors saying dance party, and it made me laugh every time.
High school dance party.
Dance queen is real good, and I still love the show, and I like learning about the side characters, and I still love the running gag that Kirill doesn't think everyone knows that Robot is a robot.
Yeah!
Even though her name is fucking Robot.
Where everyone's kind of talking about when they went to prom and stuff, and she's like, oh, I'm a robot. And he's like, oh, the robot. I'm gonna do the robot. And he winks at her like, your secret's safe with me.
It's so good.
And she's confused like, what?
She just kind of looks up for a second like, what? And then, that's very sweet, Kirill. Thank you, I guess. It's great. I love it. And I hope that continues because I laugh ever, Tim.
I love how we had the huge Doug episode last episode, and this episode he doesn't do anything.
No, Doug proves that if it's not something he's personally invested in, he is kind of a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah, he is going to take a nap and to pick the easiest route he can.
Yeah, and that's great. I love that. It's a good character thing for Doug.
Oh, that's so much easier. Let's switch.
That looks easier though. Come on, let's switch. And then they do. And it's great. But the show is real good. But unfortunately, we got to move on to Hinomaru Sumo, which I feel like that came off a little too harsh. I didn't hate this episode. This was not like as boring as it has been.
It was a tournament episode, and those are always good.
Yeah, everyone always loves the tournament arcs for a good reason because they're always good.
We get to see the weakest member of the group almost win.
And he only wins because the captain of the opposing team lets him know that, hold on, this little scrawny kid's got some weird shit up his sleeve.
Yeah, it turns out he threw the first two matches because he wanted to use his special move.
Playing the honest clown.
He wanted to use his special move during the last round.
Yep.
But he didn't do it. But everyone at the end was like, whoa!
He tried.
He was so close.
Oh, he almost had it. But then that dude turned around way too fast and kicked the shit out of him.
And then the wrestling guys fight. Well, the wrestling guy fights the judo guy.
I enjoyed that fight probably out of any fight I've watched so far. Yeah. I thought it was interesting.
Because they actually do stuff like he tries to leg sweep him.
Yeah. It was a series of counters between these two characters who are almost exactly the same in every way.
And Chihiro, the wrestling guy, he actually wins because he's really pissed off about his friend losing in the previous one.
Yes, because he was kind of a dick to him during training, and he felt a little bad about it. So then he got real mad. And he almost gets beaten because he gets kind of in it. He sort of gets lost in his own thoughts. And then Onimaru is like, hey, stop that. The fight's not over, so don't do that, please. And he's like, holy shit, he's right.
Yeah.
Time just slowed down while I was thinking for this segment.
And
I should do a sweet counter.
And then he used Hinomaru's move where he does the demon wheel thing.
Demon wheel.
And
And he wins.
He flips the guy and he wins. And next week we get to see Captain Thickest Boy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yuma and Hinomaru do their fights.
Yeah, and I think it'll be fairly cool.
I can tell one of them's going to lose between Hinomaru and Yuma, so it can be dead even, so that last fight is the deciding one. Because it's obviously going to build up to the main character versus the blonde guy.
I honestly don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah, Well, we know Hinomaru is going to win, but we know who's going to lose, basically. Is Yuma going to lose, or is Captain going to lose?
Yeah, because, like, it could be either one of them.
Yeah, because they both only have one gimmick.
Yeah, Yuma's thing is that he does good slaps. He does a lot of real good fast slaps.
And Thickest Boy does pushing.
Yeah, he's very good at pushing because of his Thickest Boy loins.
And, yeah, one of them's going to just not win.
Yeah. And then Hinomaru is gonna win at the last moment, even though it's probably gonna look like he's gonna lose.
I guess let's take a bet on it. Is it gonna be Yuma or Thickest Boy?
I'm feeling Yuma because I think Thickest Boy, this is gonna be one of those things where he like rallies to it because he's gonna go in with low confidence, but then he's gonna rally halfway through the fight.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Yuma because I think he needs a development thing where, you know, he just got into sumo, and you can't just slap.
Yeah, you
gotta do more than slaps.
You need more.
He's gonna lose and then realize he needs to train harder.
Oh man, I need more slaps. I need to do more than slaps. So that's kind of where this is okay. It's more interesting because tournament arcs.
Yep.
But
and last up, Iraduku.
Something with no tournament arcs, but it's still a very pretty looking show.
And again, everyone's wearing different clothing.
Yeah, I really like. Oh, the art and character design in this show is very good, except for one thing I noticed in this episode that immediately caught my eye and was like, oh, that's not okay.
What?
There's a point where Hitomi and second girl with ribbon and hair are reaching for the bag from opposite sides of the screen. They're reaching for the same bag, and I noticed that they are basically exactly the same. They look exactly the same, but with different colored hair. Their bangs are exactly the same. Their face designs are exactly the same.
Oh.
And I was like, oh no. Oh no.
They got same face.
They got same face. I've never noticed because I don't think they've ever really been right next to each other like that.
They have. Remember in the previous one, they were the first two having,
oh yeah,
lunch together before everyone else got there.
Then I don't know why I noticed it this time, but it hit me real hard. And then it cut to, I believe, a shot of Kohaku, and I noticed Kohaku also has same bangs.
Kohaku has, but thankfully Kohaku has derpy face sometimes.
Yeah.
Or she looks not okay sometimes.
She's got some interesting things going on up in that noggin.
The environments look better than the people.
Yeah, because all of the people in general just kind of have generic anime look.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, this is what I expect an anime character to look at. But all of the background designs are fucking amazing. They put so much effort into it, and it shows. And I don't know if it's like a budget thing, like they just had a real good budget, or if it's a labor of love, or if it's both.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever it is, it shows.
Oh, and for the plot of this episode, it basically it focuses on the C couple.
Yeah.
It focuses on I don't remember either of their names. I remember the boy's name is Chigusaki or Chigusa. Chigusa. Yeah, and he
and Glasses Girl.
He and Glasses. I guess Glasses Girl doesn't know what she wants to do with her future. Everyone's kind of prepping for the third years to graduate, and they decide that because the club president nominates his female best friend who likes him to be the next club president after he's gone.
So he's got a schooler.
And Hitomi's like, I'll help you in any way I can.
Of course she is.
And then they're all like, okay, that makes you vice president. And she's like, huh?
Oh.
I don't know, okay.
But I can't see colors, guys. But I didn't tell you that.
And then,
her colors are gone again.
Yeah, they went away again. They're hanging out. Just this episode, not much happens, and then at the end,
they go camping.
Yeah, they go camping. That's the episode. They camp.
Camp.
Then at the end, she decides to tell them all she can't see colors, but it ends right at that moment where, guys, I have something to tell you.
A lot of cliffhangers this week. A lot of cliffhangers.
I'm like, we're 7 weeks in. Even if it's like, even if this show just kind of stays at this point, I'm like, there's like 5 more. Just stick with it.
This is almost done.
Just finish it out.
And at least it's something pretty to look at.
Yeah, and again, this episode wasn't that great, but again, it focused it on the couple we care least about.
Yeah, it focused on boring characters. It did flesh them out a little bit more, with Glasses Girl being like, "Oh man, but I don't know what to do."
Oh yeah, she feels inadequate compared to her sister, who she looks up to,
who's a pastry chef.
Yeah, and I guess she doesn't think she's like as good as her sister, but the other guy who, I don't know if he likes her or not, he ends up showing her that he took a bunch of pictures of her, and he's like,
that was Chigusa, her slated lover.
Yeah, and he basically shows her that a bunch of pictures that he took, and just to be like, hey, you're pretty.
Yeah, I did think it was kind of cool looking at his pictures, like, hey, that's all stuff that I was there for. Thanks, show. I
watched that episode.
I watched those things happen. That's kind of nice. Thanks. Oh, yeah, and I suppose it helps her confidence, too, or whatever. And that's basically what happens. It's like, hey, let's focus on this character and then make them not feel inadequate. It brings up a problem she has and then solves it right in the same episode.
How convenient.
Yeah. So at least we know we don't have to deal with that anymore.
And not much happened with the others.
No, everyone else is just kind of there.
And that was Iraduku. That was that for this week.
Pretty solid week.
It's time. Are we gonna cut that time we got reincarnated as a slime?
You know, I feel like now is probably the time to do it.
It is going to be a 2-core show.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can go into next season with this still clinging to the list.
I don't know if I can handle watching more of it, because it's just not interesting.
Because if we're going to take another 10 next season, because JoJo, that's going to be multi-core, so that's going to stay. So that means we're only taking 9, and if we're keeping that time I got reincarnated as a slime, which we don't even like that much, then we're only taking 8 new shows.
Yeah, and why go in with something we're not really gonna like all that much when we can substitute it out for something that might be really good? We could miss out on a potential Zombieland saga next season
because we didn't have space for it.
You know what? I don't want that to happen.
There's even shows that are airing this season that we didn't take that I've been enjoying.
Yeah.
I watched the fucking cheerleader show and Nima Yell. It's comfy. It's a comfy show like Miss Vampire Lives in My Neighborhood. I watched Honda-san.
Yo, Honda-san
I wish we took
good.
that one instead of Ulysses.
Me too. It's just the short form betrayed it at the beginning, and we made a poor decision.
We're looking for Japanese erotic manga.
Yeah. Like, it's so perfect, though. That was such a perfect image.
And then after the the second part, we're looking for Japanese erotic gay manga.
They look. Those dudes looked exactly like us. That's what made it so good.
That's why I screen capped the first one, and like us when we started the podcast. Then I screen capped the second one, us when we talk about Double Decker and JoJo.
you know, you're not wrong, because JoJo is got those themes real strong.
But yeah, good shows we didn't take, bad shows we took like Ulysses, and shows that I wouldn't call That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime that bad. It was certainly a better show than Ulysses that it got this far.
Yeah.
But its pacing is slow, and it's really just...
It's hard to watch because it's pretty boring.
There's no hype for it at any point in time in the week. I just can't get hype for this show.
Things just kind of happen. And, you know...
I think I'm just so used to the overpowered isekai protagonist that I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
That I just don't care.
I'm not even that used to it, and it's just like there's better ways to do it. Cuz there's Overlord. Overlord does that so well. Overlord is great.
Yeah, cuz they basically just treat Ainz like a raid boss.
Yeah. And what else? Oh, that's not an isekai. Never mind. Because I was thinking, what else have I been watching lately that I really liked? And I was about to say Golden Kamui, but that's not an isekai. That's just a really good show.
Yeah, it's just like a historical action series.
And that's also real good. Watch that show.
Yeah, watch Golden Kamui. In fact, yeah, we didn't take it because it's technically a season 2. Cause
yeah.
If we took if we started before and we had the first Golden Kamui, we could have done that. But I just, it was hadn't seen the first season at the time too, so it wasn't worth doing.
We made a solemn pact that we weren't gonna take sequels except JoJo because JoJo's amazing and we know it'd be good.
Yeah, it's spin-offs are fine and stuff. Whenever they air that fucking Fate Grand Order show, it's on like the last arc, like the Babylon arc of the game. So it's a sequel, but there's nothing before it. So
yeah, the only thing that comes before it would be the
Camelot movie.
The Camelot movie.
Yeah,
which I do want to watch because Camelot is a super good arc.
Yeah. We can do something just on the Camelot one, just a video about the Camelot movies.
Even if we don't, I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I've devoted too much of my fucking time in the Type Moon franchise.
Yeah, it is a life stealer. Type Moon will suck the soul out of your body.
Tsukihime remake when? Fucking when, Nasu? Get off your ass and write that fucking remake.
We need it. Give it. No.
All right. Yeah, this is the protagonist seat. We're gonna go make a video about Castlevania.
Yeah, we'll finally get the spooks done.
Yeah, we promised that a while ago. So
yeah, but the best spooks hit when you don't expect them.
Yeah, Thanksgiving's terrifying.
You know what else?
That's scarier than Halloween.
You know what else is terrifying? Shameless self-promotion. If you like our video, you should like it. If you want to watch more stuff like that, subscribe to our channel. Follow our Twitter.
Yeah, be the first person to follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Be a trendsetter.
And you know what?
Be a trailblazer. Do it.
Say hi. Be like, hey, I love your podcast. You guys are the coolest guys ever.
Or just be like, hey, we know you exist.
I acknowledge that you exist.
Yeah.
We would appreciate it. Thank you. We love you all very much. Goodbye.
See ya.